Hello, welcome to Bryan Hanks Show number 1331. My name is John Dawson. This is Bryan Hanks. Our usual cohorts are Jonathan Massey and Brandon Ruth. We couldn't afford bail money this week, but hopefully by next week we'll get them out of the pokey. Back to you, Bryan.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Man, 1,331?
Yeah. We're running out of fingers and toes. I don't know how we're going to keep up with that going forward.
That's awesome. Well, today is going to be a very special show as we're going to be joined here very, very shortly by the head basketball coach, athletics director. I believe he's still athletics director. He's definitely the head boys basketball coach.
Heard they had a big win lately.
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was all right, man. I'm telling you, dude, you talk about Linda and I actually went to it. It was up in Winston-Salem as the Kinston Vikings won another state championship.
They're getting kind of greedy at this point.
Dude.
I'm joking.
No, I know. But it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not joking, especially having been away from it for a little while. This is what blew my mind with the whole thing. It's been 11 years. Does it seem like it's been that long?
Since they won a state championship?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it's been about 10 minutes.
Their last
they
one
won
was,
so many.
Yeah, their last one was in 2015 when they won their fourth in a row with, I don't know if you've heard of Brandon Ingram, right?
I've heard tell of him, yes.
But his senior year was their last year, and I would have bet anything. I mean, I couldn't have told you a year, but especially with some of the memory stuff I've been having, but I would have bet they would have won one since then, but they hadn't. It's been 11 years since they have won a state championship.
Were they expected to win, or were they underdogs?
They were underdogs. That's Farmville, as far as I know. To bear in mind, I'm nowhere near the expert I used to be, but Farmville's been extremely successful the past few years, and this was another year that everybody was expecting them to win another state title, but they did. In Kinston, it's just amazing. We're going to be joined by Perry Tyndall. Did I mention that already?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And there's not going to be any bad dad jokes this week. We're going to get right to the interview. By the way, do you know when you can tell a joke has become a dad joke?
What?
It becomes apparent.
Very good.
Let's get Perry Tyndall here.
Okay, now we're joined here at the home front by one of the all-timers in North Carolina High School Athletic Association history. It's the head basketball coach at Kinston High School. It's Perry Tyndall. Coach, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me.
It's absolutely my honor and John's honor, and man, just what a run. Do you feel like maybe you're still like? I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Is it a dream? What does it feel like?
Yeah. There's no doubt. It's funny. I talk with all the coaches, and it's like we've all talked about how really because the journey this team kind of went on, we've just been like, wow, we're state champions, and just those moments of, not that we didn't believe, it's not that, it's just that really kind of the things we overcame, and then to have done it the way we did it in the run, and then in the last game, just put everything together, and margin of victory that really I knew we could win, of course, but when you look at that margin of victory, I didn't really necessarily. I thought it would be tough, and it was tough. Clearly we didn't score the first 4 minutes, but then you look at it and we scored 80 points and we didn't even score in the first 4. So we just got rolling, and then defensively we just played really well. And like I said, a lot of things clicked at the right time for us.
As someone who's not as intimately involved as I used to be, and I cannot believe I'm even saying this to you, but that was the first time I'd seen you guys all year was the state championship game up at Winston. Tell me about this year's kids and just this year's team. And I'm not even asking you to compare and contrast it against 2012 and 15 and all that, but just this year's team. What is special? Not just that, obviously, that they've got a trophy here, but what is special about this year's team, Coach?
Yeah, this group is different, and I think that all the years that we've won it, you can go back and you talk to Wells, and each group had something different, and this one, And I told him, and I when we were, you know, we won, you know, the regional finals, I was like, you know what, we've gone as far as we can, and you know, if you can give a week and do everything we ask you to do for 32 more minutes, you're gonna have a historical state championship to show in Kinston high school history. And I think that that's what this group is. Really, the growth and maturity is what will separate this group from a lot of the other ones. And it's not a knock on this, but we just had to figure some things out, and we had to almost wear them as our identity, that in times we fought that. Mm-hmm. And understanding that all the great teams that have won one in Kinston were built on a lot of people who, a lot of players that were willing to sacrifice something for the greater good of, and I think anybody would say any team does that. This group, though, had to really learn how to wear that, you know, because you look at it in Genesis Wiggins, early in the playoff run was, I mean, there's a reason they started calling him Playoff Gen. Like, he was unbelievable and really kind of was carrying the torch for us. And then any great teams that you face along a run like this, scouts become deeper, and coaches look at it and say, this kid has been unbelievable. Mm-hmm. We've got to find a way to slow him down. And that was what kind of emerged with this group too, was, okay, you want to try and slow Genesis down. Then Keyshawn and Jamarion were steady all year. They just kind of emerged even more. And then you had Brennan Chambers, who's going to play football at Marshall. His last two games were arguably his best two games. Wow. All season. And that's a kid that came in, and you know, he really kind of came in and was like, I don't really know where I fit, but I know what I can bring. And I thought that he rested a lot late in our run with just saying, you know what, I can score it, I can rebound it, I can alter shots. And he just really kind of became everything he was. Just kind of that took on a whole new dynamic. And then Jair Kuntz scores 14 points in the state championship game. And, you know, some people would say, well, he was kind of but I mean, 14-point state championship, you know, Jamarion and Keyshawn have 21, and Brennan has, 10 and 13. And, you know, 14 points in the state championship is tremendous. So this group just really began to embrace, we're going to achieve more because we're going to play so together that, you know what, if you want to take him away, that's all right. He's going to eat. Mm-hmm. And if one of us is eating, we're all going to eat. And so just the growth they had this year. And then once they got that snowball rolling in the playoffs, it was kind of, you kind of saw the momentum and you saw the belief build and build. And we were at our best, clearly at our best. And most teams would say, hey, if you win the state championship, you are. But we were at our best at the right time.
What does this one mean to you, Coach? I mean, I know the first, you know, when you were an assistant, championships meant a lot mm-hmm. to you. Your first 3 years as a head coach, mm-hmm. I know they meant a lot. But, and I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot to ask you this, but as we sit here in 2026, what does this one mean to you, Coach?
Yeah, you know, I hate talking about it because it feels like it takes away from those first three. But as I was mentioning, like, in some ways, I think that everybody during that time period just said, well, this is supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, this is just an every year occurrence, and this is what's going to happen, and it just is what it is. And, you know, and the expectations have always been that. 1992, you know, they're there. 2001, they're there. Then we're back in 2007, 2008, 2010, 12, 13, 14, 15. But I don't think that everybody understood in that time period how amazing that was. And so when you get away from it and you haven't been able to enjoy that success, I think that this one to me has got a different it's a different feel. It's I mean, maybe say it's a little bit sweeter, maybe so, because I think you're far enough removed that you realize these things are very hard to come by, and you embrace every journey. And again, like I said, we have had teams that we believed could have done it, and we came up short. And you know, for this team to get there and reach it, it just is. It's been an amazing feeling that I think a lot of people, our staff, has really celebrated, and again, the community. It's just great for the community. There's an excitement. There's you know, you go to the gas station and people are, you know, it just, that's why this place is so special, and there's no way you can ever deny the inner fabric of basketball being tied to Kinston. And I mean, I think clearly everybody knows that, but it's this town loves basketball success, and I'm thankful that our guys took everybody on a journey to kind of get back to the top of the mountain.
One thing I know about you and that I love about you is just how family-based you are. And I'm not just talking about your basketball family. I'm switching lanes on you a little bit to talk about your wife and your two beautiful children. And just while other people are looking at one thing, I'm looking at True down at the end of the bench. You know, I hadn't been to a game yet this year, so I didn't know that he was doing water for you. Does it click? Have you had the chance to look at him down at the end of the bench? I'm not even talking about the state championship, but in a random January game at Green Central, I don't know, I'm just pulling one, to look down and say, that's my son down there at the end of the bench, and there's my beautiful wife, and there's my daughter. How much does that mean to you to have them as part of this journey?
Yeah, like I can't do this without all of them, you know, and I think that clearly it starts with my wife, you know, when she knew, you know, being a coach's wife, not, you know, it's clearly everybody says it's not always the easiest time, but she's been so on board from just diving in, like she, you know, from bringing dinner out to the school to going to the games, she just said, you know what, I'm going to immerse myself into whatever's going on, which then lended itself to, you know, we have pictures of Ollie, and you know, when she was little, and when we were winning our first ones, and the pictures we have with her, and you know, her having snacks in the bleachers and living in the bleachers of the games, and you know, and to see her grow up now, and then now True being a part of, you know, we put him into the program when we wrote it. Diesel and I were writing in everybody's role, and we put him as a special analyst and hydration specialist. so they announced it during the game on the thing, and my cousin reached out to me. She was like, they just announced True as the hydration specialist, and we said special analyst. But it's been awesome because he's 9 years old, but he's in practice and he's hearing me, and it's funny because we walk in from practices and Lauren would be like, well, how was practice? And True would be like, it wasn't great tonight, you know, or it was, he understands, and he's, you know, I said it in the press conference, but he's learning, you know, they talk about a coach's kid, and I think it's clearly evident he's hearing so many things at an age that I think that hopefully it prepares him, and then he looks up to all these guys, and so he watches them, and he tries to emulate the same things that they're doing, and it's been really fun, and to have them all there with me and to do it with them and to share in that, it makes it even more special. But yeah, he's embraced his role. We got a picture of him walking off Minji's at halftime of the regional final, and he's got one towel on his head, one towel on this shoulder, one towel on this shoulder, and he's toting the water bottles, and he's just, he just embraced it. He was like, you know what, this is my job, and I'm going to do it well. And you do look at him, and then in some of the celebrations, he's right in the celebrations. We've gone back and found the videos, and he's in there swinging his hand up, holding the water bottle. Just fun moments that it's way better doing it with the people you love right there in the midst of it.
I'm going to say, perfect segue there, Coach. Your parents. I mean, it's been so much fun through the years of seeing your parents at every game, and then got to see them in Winston too. And what does it mean to you? And let's even go back to your playing years when you played at Kinston High School. From you being a coach at Rochelle to being the JV coach, an assistant coach, and a head coach, that your parents are always there and they've always been there to support you. What does that? How much do you love them? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, like it ties in just the same way our family. Like basketball has been really, really good to our family, and you go back and just the memories of my brother and I playing at Kinston,
and I'm sorry, I should have mentioned.
I
should have mentioned him too. Saw him too, and
but
he
was there. Yeah, and so like it goes back to all the sacrifice that our parent, Webb and I, they sacrificed so much for us to be able to play sports, and the amount of summers that we didn't go on vacation because we were playing in baseball tournaments or whatever it may have been. My parents sacrificed a whole lot for us to be able to play, and sports has been a big part of our family. And so for them to be there, my mom, she can't handle the games quite as easy. My dad's, he's always steady, and he enjoys it. My mom gets really wound tight, but they're going to be there at the ones that they know are important, and seeing them there, clearly they're getting older, and I'm just it's been a blessing that they've been able to share in all these experiences with us.
When did you know, Coach? Was there ever a moment? I'm not even going to try to put a time or anything on it, but for you that you went, this team has that possibility of being a state champion again. When did that crystallize for you?
Well, it's weird because I think this summer we played at the ECI, and we won our division, and Tyreek Copper ends up at the time he had just, all the state stuff had just happened that summer, and so we didn't know, probably knew there maybe was a chance he wasn't going to play, but we had a really good summer and he didn't play with us, and so we really were like, you know what, we've got pieces, but clearly it's going to be a while because we knew football was going to be really going to be really good, and we didn't have our first game till December 16th, so it was going to take some re-gelling from June. But honestly, in June, I think we kind of realized, like, we've got some pieces to this. And then the late start was tough. We're playing 3 games a week, and then the snow week. And so we were a little bit just kind of up and down at times. We had moments and we had flashes of like, wow, like, it's there. We see it, but then we would wrestle just some other aspects that were kind of almost like holding us back, and so we wrestled some of that, and we just kept, as a staff, we just kept looking and just saying, we got it. We just got to get over this hump, and there was various things that any coach would, different teams are dealing with different stuff, but just kind of up and down. But we had a really good half at Green Central in the first half, and then in the second half kind of just lost focus a little bit. But I thought in that half it was like, there it is.
Really?
Okay. There's what we are looking at, that we can be, and we saw it, but then we saw kind of the ugly head kind of reared itself too later in that game, and some of it was just finishing and just different things. And then as a staff, we realized we needed to simplify some things for this group, and we did. And But yeah, there was several moments throughout the year where we knew, like, hey, we got a group that can do it. We just got to bundle it all together. And again, I think we did that. Even the Whiteville game, the second round game, was a close game that we were down with 2 minutes left, but found a way to win. And then I think from there it just started building.
Well, Coach, I can't even begin to tell you how much I appreciate you coming and talking to me, and John and the folks. Just ridiculously proud. I mean, I'm telling you, sir, it's just ridiculously proud. I don't know how else to say that. Congratulations. Just give you a chance to thank, if there's somebody, I know you've done a ton of these, but who would you like to thank?
I just, honestly, man, I'd like to thank all the people who stuck with this group. You know, this group, it was not easy. It was not pretty at times. And the people who just kept saying, you know what, that's not it. I know they're better, but they kept showing up and kept supporting us and kept encouraging the kids and not tearing them down. Those are the people that I really appreciate. And then, Bryan, these, like, you're in the fabric of Kinston basketball. And, you know, I told you that I'm so thankful that you were there to see this, especially with everything that's happened. And, you know, your voice, when I look at that picture of our gym, hearing your voice in that gym is the backbone of what we've been along the way. And I want to thank you because you've made and been a storyteller of this program for a long, long time, and you're an ambassador, a torchbearer in and of yourself. And I don't think the story of Kinston completely gets told without your voice. And so I wholeheartedly thank you, and I'm so thankful that you got a chance to be there and see that happen.
You're way too kind, as you always are. Thank you. It's always good and I know we're up against it, to see good guys win, you know, and good guys finish first. And it doesn't always, you know that, it doesn't always happen, but it does with you for the fourth time now. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Let's not forget to thank the yard guy who's done more work than Augusta has.